Anecdote.
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 Anecdote. Anecdote.
And it says, think of really funny anecdotes, really funny anecdotes, really funny anecdotes. And there is a very hilarious story.
Yeah, we want anecdotes, funny details, new habits.
Bitch fucked my boyfriend with an egg beater last night.
I can see that Tish is making the round. She must have some juicy new anecdote. Juicy new anecdote. Juicy new anecdote.
He's on the internet, they're about his wife, using her real name. Sweet little anecdotes about how much she loves rough sex, that sort of thing.
To be more definitive, any anecdotes with the kids that you can relate?
No, that is definitive enough.
The Siege of Jerusalem.
Save your creaking anecdotes. We'll sick to death of your patsy ancestor.
Family as possible.
Oh, well, what kind of input? Oh, he means anecdotes, little stories.
Her liquor always flowed freely. And her anecdotes were always enjoyable.
Absolute zero.
I didn't skip it. It's just an anecdote. It's not science.
Oh, I see. It was the apple falling on Newton's head. Was that just an anecdote?
You are not Isaac Newton.
No, that's...
Like 30 times.
I think that's how Dad got girls in college. Instead of playing the guitar, he'd just tell weird historical anecdotes.
Have dinner with me tonight? Nice, dull, boring dinner. Scrabble, knock-knock jokes. Anecdotes about dead Italians.
Lofty.
Lofty. Lofty. Lofty. Lofty.
Miguel's convinced himself he wants this kill tonight for lofty and noble reasons. Lofty and noble reasons. Lofty and noble reasons. I'm not quite as high-minded. You didn't answer my question.
Discuss it before you acted.
You said you had a hard time lying to David, so I prevented you from having to do that again.
How lofty, lofty, lofty. So you did this for me.
I am trying to prove that...
What? Nothing to say? No pithy wisdom? No lofty moral judgments?
What should happen will.
You said duty.
Really, guys? At a funeral?
Okay, while not all of us possess your lofty sense of decorum, drug dealer from an 80s after-school special, we have to laugh.
This case is exceeding even my lofty expectations. An impossible murder connected to a shadowy and mysterious cult.
But perhaps from your lofty heights atop the corporate ladder, you've lost touch with the struggles of the common man.
Because when you get past the arrogance, he's right. We can pretend to put it behind us, exchange lofty words about an alliance. But if this is what survival has come to, it's always...
Bully.
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 Oh, this is that bully kid. That bully kid. That bully kid.
Ivan.
I would so like to see Turner strike him out.
And is the chief treasury agent...
That man is a bully! That man is a bully! That man is a bully!
Is the chief treasury agent of Charles de Gaulle.
Terrible. I mean, come on, we joke about it, right? We joke about it, but Ward's always been easy to be bullied. I mean...
She's a fucking bully! Fucking bully! Fucking bully!
Only Puerto Rican Polak in Brooklyn. Well, I got a deal for you, little bully shitheels. Whatever you do to this guy here, I'm gonna do to your mothers. You understand? And I mean...
So, are you planning to let him bully you all your life?
Excuse me?
He's the bully. He started it, and I always get in trouble for this kind of stuff.
Well, it's just that...
It was right behind me.
I saw him pushing folks around like cattle.
He was a bully. Damn near knocked me over.
Sorry. I was controlling.
You were a bully.
A bully and an asshole? Yes.
Feels like recess and we're about to fight the school bully.
Looks quiet.
Look at you. Bully then, bully now.
Oh, what the hell?
You are bully. You grabbed my arm just like the judge.
Auction.
Auction. Auction.
Auction.
Auction.
For you. It is, actually.
Well, have you guys seen the silent auction? Silent auction? Silent auction?
No, I haven't seen it yet. I'd love to. Private hands. And the prize? Haystack Storm. Acquired at auction 20 years ago. Acquired at auction 20 years ago. Acquired at auction 20 years ago. In spirited bidding.
The bid is with the gentleman on the aisle. The bid is...
We'll hold a Jade Palace Fancy Pants auction. 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 You mean get people to bid money on us?
Your job. No way. It's a terrific job. An auction house. One night's work and you're free.
Extravagant pieces. I think he used to buy them at auction.
When we reconvene, our head auctioneer, Francis Lemaitre, will lead the auction for Goya's Witches in the Air. Thank you very much.
Post these pictures and their descriptions? Come on, this auction is going to end on Sunday, honey. You got to get those posted.
House, the auction's still pending. They put a fence up around it.
George! It's my pattern! Where did you find it?
I got lucky on an online auction. My eBay auction handle isn't the real Jedi Maxter for nothing.
Buddy, what about you?
$1,326.
Sebastian?
Jewelry store wasn't just closed for any old gathering. There's a major auction happening in Cannes. Some of the world's most valuable jewelry will be there.
Richard Vaughn, they're selling their entire art collection at auction.
I already finished my Christmas shopping.
Again, for the photographs. I'm sure they're going to be a big hit at the auction. Hope you're well.
Janitor.
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 Janitor! The janitor! The janitor!
He's already dead.
Do you even know my name?
Janitor, janitor, janitor.
Always keep a provisional weapon on your person.
Yeah, that's Joe.
Exactly how do you know him?
He's a janitor here. He's a janitor here. He's a janitor here. I hired him part-time 2 weeks ago.
He is a professor working as a janitor so he can be near his precious Lulu.
Cleaning company. It's like she couldn't keep a job.
She went from professor to janitor? That's Goodwill Hunting, but in reverse.
What is this? Work, man? I'm a janitor?
I'm sorry, Mr. Linus.
Goodspeed told me you people were doing experiments changing the world.
In his eyes?
Yes.
Okay, we'll get a janitor. Okay.
Holy moly.
There were even more, but I think the janitor took some home.
Look at this. And this.
Waste remediation at a classified government site. He's like a super secret janitor. It's something called NMR.
I didn't even know they did that still.
When did this happen?
I was a janitor in Phoenix.
I remember that man from your building. He was posing as a janitor. Now that you're not gonna die, we can have a little chat. So, you need a hospital, and I need to know why everyone's after the janitor.
Elevate. Elevate.
Elevate. Elevate. Elevate.
Should elevate, elevate, not pander, particularly in the hall of education.
Oh, I'm not feeling so good. I need to keep it elevated for a while.
Michelle says Gilly needs the restroom.
What about the cytokines?
Elevated, slightly.
When we see him driving, his point of view is elevated. I'd say he's driving a van or an SUV.
I think it's the stabilizer.
I need to keep his leg elevated.
Get some pillows! You could have elevated the Dunphy name, but instead you chose to tarnish it. So congratulations, ladies. You brought this family to a new low.
Unfortunately, you have elevated levels of AST and ALT, which could mean liver damage.
Unstable vital signs, lab significant for a total Billy of 7, and elevated liver enzymes.
Thank you, Dr. Yang.
Which didn't make any sense since a normal reaction to an infection is an elevated temperature, a fever.
A deception that elevates us is dearer than a host of low truths.
Glow. Glow.
Glow.
Glow.
Glow.
You have glow, 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 Miss Eleanor, like Chinese lantern. Well, it's love.
Nothing. Why?
You have this glow, glow, glow.
Beg you to take us off that list. I can't give this suit back. Can't I glow in the dark? I glow in the dark. I glow in the dark. I finally glow in the dark.
Happier. She's just less Blair. She does have a certain glow about her, doesn't she?
I don't understand why you don't get this, okay?
Sleeping hidden. The glow of the firefly, for instance, intensifies anything red.
2 days later, I encountered the Wendigo himself. His eyes seemed to glow. His breath was hideous with a horrible stench of burnt flesh.
Yeah. Not really gaining weight the way I would have expected.
I finally understand why people say pregnant women glow.
Phil, I've had 3 children.
Hey, Dad, Gloria, open our present.
Fireworks show of our own later.
Grandpa.
A couple of glow sticks and a slingshot in the backyard.
Oh.
Which led to some pretty memorable lovemaking.
No.
This orange thing, it's like I glow in the dark. The guard with the mustache keeps staring at me.
Since when do you hate that? It's cross. Nothing goes on the walls that can't be taken down before the next service.
It's gonna glow in the dark.
Now, dog it. You know what? Fine.
What is it about the Galactica that gives you such a glow? I come over here, it's like I'm going from one dungeon to the next.
Oh, I hadn't noticed, but thank you.
You ready?
We've only got a few drops of the cure left. There's not enough to keep watering it down.
Then we'll mix plain water with something else. Sorcerer's gypsum will make it glow.
But it won't cure anybody.
Then we'll just...
So look that I get once a year, you see, I get to see her come out of her room, and she has this glow. When she sees those presents that Santa left for her, and I just think that Christmas is not going to be the same.
Nominate.
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 Well, guess what? That was my boss on the phone, and the Our Life has been nominated for Best New Product of the Year.
Jonah, you're fucking sucking balls. You're an Academy Award nominated person. You need to be fucking selling that shit, dude.
Are you finished, General?
He doesn't want to ruin his chances of being nominated. And he knows Americans want to see the Emperor's head on a stake.
She just died.
Exactly. Which is why we need to nominate a new final girl.
And I'm willing to be it.
You know, I'm trying to remember if the Democrats have ever nominated an atheist before.
Well, we know they've nominated a jackass before.
This is a pretty fancy setup. Were the kids nominated for an Oscar? Best performance by twins in a ridiculous situation?
You, I understand, Daniel was just telling me his plan to nominate you as my successor to the board.
I'm submission.
Blown away. I mean, that's why I nominated him.
To that end, you remember how today is meeting the board nominated new officers?
I just think somebody should go talk to her.
I nominate you, Captain America.
Some of my stuff.
Really?
Oh yeah, in high school when I first got nominated for Junior Tumbling Congress, my parents had to sign a release.
Well, don't turn it off. You might miss your call from the Nobel Committee letting you know you've been nominated as Dumbass Laureate of the Year.
Ripple.
Ripple. Ripple. Ripple. Ripple.
Ripple. Don't make a ripple. Don't make a ripple. You just go.
And because it was properly anchored to the wall, it was sort of a ripple effect. It was pulling part of the floor down. And
Those ripples. Those ripples. Those ripples. Those are fish. Make sure he doesn't talk. Endless ripple effect.
Remember the Torres case 40 years ago?
You want. And the ripple effect of that would happen in South Los Angeles and other American cities where that was a mistake.
This is a moment of impact whose potential for change has ripple effects far beyond what we can predict.
What? Sound. It moves like ripples in water.
And when a ripple touches a soft surface like
a ripple in the water.
This ripple won't fade.
You drop a pebble into a pond and the ripples radiate outwards, touching and affecting everything.
Anything that was supposed to happen after they've met has disappeared.
The ripple effect. Once you change something in the past, anything from that point forward becomes uncertain. Ferocious.
Ferocious. Ferocious.
Ferocious.
Ferocious.
But they're also ferocious at the same time. He wasn't afraid of making enemies. I think that's probably why he had so many friends.
My great-grandfather, a ferocious warrior, a ferocious warrior, a ferocious warrior. Not well liked, but he was responsible for expanding our lands into the province it is today.
King Ferrante's reputation as a ferocious, bloodthirsty warlord is not.
Attorney in grace, I give you the ferocious, the terrifying, half-face and Humbaba!
But in the wild, the female species can be far more ferocious than their male counterparts.
And I'm a ferocious, pissed off real mother, but you wouldn't know nothing about that, would you?
Juvenile.
Juvenile. Juvenile. Juvenile.
Juvenile.
Subjects were adolescent boys ages 12 to 14.
Yes, she said she wanted to study juveniles. Juveniles. Juveniles.
Seems like a pretty...
We can't go back.
Yes, we can. We can explain it. He's a juvenile. He's a juvenile. He's a juvenile. We don't have to throw everything away. It was a mistake. Self-defense.
This is why we are not dating, okay? Because you, my friend, are a juvenile dipshit. Juvenile dipshit. Juvenile dipshit. I could be dating college guys, or...
They were detained when she was 12. What happened to her? Juvenile Reclamation Project. For 5 years. Shit.
So this case is a landmine. Got a juvenile offender, family of devout Jehovah's Witnesses. We gotta be real careful here.
A juvenile delinquent, a thief, a murderer? Who's the jury gonna believe?
Juvenile offenders get put here. Lockup. We call it the skybox.
Approved a mission to Earth. He's sending the juvenile prisoners to the ground. 100 of them. Your sister included.
No. Your behavior was boorish and juvenile.
You were rude, vulgar, and uncouth.
AKA Jerome, 18, and the only adult. He recruits juveniles on skateboards to run drugs for him. Maybe Matt said no.
Perhaps you'd consider a less pejorative name. Juveniles often identify with the labels society gives them.
Anonymous.
Anonymous. Anonymous.
Anonymous.
Anonymous.
What have you been up to?
I think you know exactly what I've been up to, Danny. I saw all your anonymous posting on my website.
You have a website. That's good.
I waited for guys outside their homes. I sent them anonymous love letters, I even made friends with their girlfriends to see what they liked about them.
Public and no dive. Listen, the good news is I think we've got a taker for the soul. Really? Yes. Who is it? Anonymous party. Anonymous? 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 Anonymous party. Make a direct deposit.
I'm pretty tied into the church crowd, Rageaholics Anonymous and whatnot. I could find a priest for you.
We can't have you on the payroll now.
I could be anonymous. Still do the work.
Doesn't? Alessandro's prints were on the gun. He got caught a couple of days later on an anonymous tip. He testified against the others.
That's not all. Here's a copy of the anonymous harassment report on Sergeant Scott.
A phase. She was having anonymous sex.
She... what?
I slept with a few men.
Priori. An anonymous denunciation.
The author's unimportant.
Good comfort. Let's pause a minute to pay respect to this anonymous
Leads. An anonymous tip came in.
Apparently, one of the girls made a run for it, got away.
Just an anonymous stranger with 2 bullets in his gun.
Counterpart.
Counterpart. Counterpart. Counterpart.
Counterpart.
I thought I had, as you say, fixed things. And now I discover that you and your FBI counterparts have been fighting at a crime scene?
Sir.
And besides, the key is useless without its counterpart. Its counterpart. Its counterpart.
Gun and held everyone up, while his counterpart grabbed 2 pizzas, 1 plain, 1 pepperoni.
What's going on?
Danny, meet Carl Schmidt, my German counterpart at the BND.
You ordered without me?
Oh, it's just like the FBI to keep your Mexican counterparts waiting.
Yeah, well, we like to...
Feud gay.
Roger was my male counterpart in high school.
But in the wild, the female species can be far more ferocious than their male counterparts.
Far from it. The only way to secure the counterpart alpha is to destroy it.
And by the time we do, my wife will be dead.
You don't have it. Noblemen in my part of the country don't enjoy the same lifestyle as our counterparts in Dawn.
Neither would I suspect your corporeal counterpart.
Cunning.
Cunning.
Cunning. Cunning.
Cunning.
It took cunning, and patience, which he's exhibiting now with his current murders.
We think
You don't seem surprised.
Conrad is a cunning man, and he is the very definition of malleable.
Doing this requires observation, cunning, and manipulation. Cunning and manipulation. Cunning and manipulation.
Isn't it just easier to shut down your hoo-ha until he gives in?
Grimaldi.
Known as Il Malizia, the cunning one.
Very good.
They'll refuse. The adventure of the theft is a story in and of itself. In short, through luck, cunning, lazy security, and the horrible disadvantage of being Italian, he actually succeeds.
You must compensate with the gifts God did give you. With cunning, with ruthlessness.
Thank you. Cunning psychopaths so narcissistic they believe they can't be caught.
Tragedy, betrayal, diminutive men led astray by a cunning vixen.
His cunning and instincts are sharper than the fox.
Porter and Walker. I'm not convinced he has the cunning or the connections to mastermind something this complicated.
Prophet. He is a sick, cunning murderer.
Malleable.
Malleable. Malleable.
Malleable.
Malleable.
I said you were soft and malleable and malleable and malleable with a spine like cottage cheese.
Cottage cheese? It's a common tactic in training child soldiers. New names severs kids from their real selves, makes them more malleable, more malleable, more malleable.
Yes. Well, while your body may be strong, your mind is malleable, malleable, malleable.
It can't take the same rigors as your physical form.
It will bend to my will.
Digital is this unbelievably malleable plastic of imagery and sound.
Another where you tell Carrie Agos that Finn Polmar is soft and malleable with a spine of cottage cheese.
I was trying to buck Carrie up during his trial.
You don't seem surprised.
Conrad is a cunning man, and he is the very definition of malleable.
It's interesting how malleable the human mind is. I mean, all those people wanted was a little help.
Bones were fractured. The screen, while it resembles stainless steel, is actually a rather malleable magnesium alloy. So, murder by something that approximates the speed, force, and velocity of a potato. A blunt, malleable projectile moving at a relatively slow speed.
Do you concur?
Well, since the flesh is malleable, the computer can't confirm or deny if Christine did this. I want to be in charge.
Well, then be in charge. Be forceful. Jody's malleable.
He's not.
Circuit.
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 Doesn't matter, it's just a dead bird. This is the transmission booth. Now, you see the monitor? It's a closed circuit. It's a closed circuit. It's a closed circuit.
Is he seeing his own panel?
No. He's seeing...
Yeah, that's correct.
No, it's just that it gets cold out there, and sometimes you don't make the circuit of the lot. Make the circuit of the lot. Make the circuit of the lot.
Yes.
Third in the state twice. Now, can you fix the fuse box or not?
Most houses built after 1990 are wired through a circuit breaker. Through a circuit breaker. Through a circuit breaker. You didn't blow a fuse, you tripped a breaker.
His father built him his own track in Sinaloa. He's been racing on the pro circuit in South America under pseudonym. I saw him drive.
Okay, what do you see?
I see massive wires coming out of a circuit board.
Okay, I'll find my processor.
Nice piece of fucking work.
Some of these bars, part of a mob circuit right out of Seattle. They moved the girls around LA, Portland, up here, Hawaii, Florida.
Electrons floating on superfluid helium. The nanotech doesn't exist to make that into a circuit.
I assemble it using microfabrication techniques.
Oh, you're not here because of the girl?
No. Her mother is a federal judge on the D.C. Circuit Court.
My grandma Marjorie is a circuit court judge for the very prestigious Ninth Circuit.
Doug, you think it's a circuit breaker?
Next question.
Come on, boys, zip it up.
Saving those people. Finn, get that control panel to camp. You, pull out those firing circuits in one piece or they won't work.
With me for the art, I use them to pry the panel open. Then I need to get to the wires to short the circuit.
Coward. Coward.
Coward.
Coward.
Govern.
Here's a little fucking coward. Fucking coward. Fucking coward. Pretends he believes in God, pretends he's in the head. I don't think you are. I think you're an evil little boy, an evil little...
Look at that! You're a fucking coward! Coward!
Souvenir, huh? Yeah.
Fucking coward! Coward! Coward!
Hey, Mickey, I got you in my pocket.
Oh, that's funny!
You're such a coward. A coward. A coward.
Ray, you know me. I'm not a coward. Look, I will more than happily draw down on those guys with you for
Something you just throw out on the street.
Because I'm a fucking coward.
Typical, I guess. Come on.
Is gossip girl right about you being a coward?
That's not true, and you know it.
Still for sale.
Even Ernie Hudson begged you not to go through with that.
Ernie Hudson is a coward!
Better a fool who tries and fails than a coward who sits around and does nothing.
Just get it over with, you fracking coward.
You knew that she had a thing for Corey, but you were too much of a coward to confront it by yourself.
Demolish.
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 Demolish, 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 extirpate, extinguish.
On St. Jack Wood, powerful surges broke the arcade boardwalk and demolished the village bandstand and casino.
You know it. He has 3 warehouses, one of which is slated to be demolished. Demolished.
The Lamabrazzics wouldn't demolish an entire city for a nobody.
The house was demolished. She substituted at a school near Shizuoka.
Car's been demolished. Father Paul's body's been claimed by the monastery and...
Answers. If they'll let us use your half-demolished fort as a treasury.
Yes.
Care to join me?
If you want to build a better home, first you must demolish the old one.
You demolished Coach's car.
I paid for it.
Yeah, you're going.
I'm not entirely heartless, but if I do, I want your word that we will demolish this portal and no one passes through it again.
Great roll. Now you can demolish your Soviet-style cyclotron and build the Large Hadron Collider.
And just to demolish it, I honestly thought I was smarter than that.
Perverse.
perverse, perverse,
perverse,
perverse,
Lisbon, that's a little perverse, don't you think? I see you close cases.
That's perverse, don't you think? Destroy a man you love and then weep for him eternally.
It's so perverse.
Maybe this is Blair's idea of a perverse double date.
Rottis. Turner, this is perverse.
Sorry, I've developed a perverse sense of the comic over the last year.
Now, my theory is that you, somehow in your development, warped that caring gesture into something perverse.
Nothing works. I don't know if it's because they're too young and they don't understand, or they're just getting some perverse joy out of testing me.
Speak for themselves. Because I really identify with Sunflower. And it seems like she might be polymorphously perverse. You know what that is?
Olivia tried to kill herself. I feel responsible.
It was a perverse grab for attention.
There is a perverse kind of joy in seeing them blown apart, isn't there?
As perverse as it may seem.
Apprentice.
apprentice,
apprentice, apprentice,
apprentice,
I'm an apprentice boilerman. Apprentice boilerman. Apprentice boilerman. What?
Actually, thought that was kind of badass.
Pardon me, you are who? He's my apprentice. Apprentice. Oh. So you're a wizard now. Ah, fuck you, Nicky.
You did it.
Excellent work, my apprentice. My apprentice. My apprentice. Now there's just one last teeny little detail.
What's job? Washing the damn van? I'm an apprentice. I just take care of the van while I learn to plumb. Stop.
Mr. Friends, my name's Pip.
I have the best of friends, dear.
And when you're apprentice to me, well, larks.
That's wonderful. He's never taken to an apprentice so quickly.
And I hope soon to stop saying apprentice, start saying son. Now add your mark.
It's a Riario. Perhaps he can apprentice you.
I did as you asked.
I asked you not to go.
Why are you here, Abby? We both know that you could have sent an apprentice to do this.
You know what? It is fascinating, but at the end of the day, I am not your apprentice. I am your sober companion.
No, you're not.
The typist.
You gave an apprentice a $13 million watch.
Yeah, it's a common auction house practice.
What was a guy's apprentice now about battles anyway?
Genji's an armor's apprentice.
Plumber's apprentice. I can do that.
You have experience?
I fixed our toilet.
You shook the handle.
null,
null, null, null.
null.
Under no circumstances do you fail in this endeavor, or our entire night is null and void. Understood? Understood?
Mr. Willoughby's material omission gives Life State the right to render this contract null and void.
The boyfriend of the BFF clause is officially null and void, so she brought it on herself.
The alleged online slander incident?
So the death benefit in the amount of $200,000 we paid you back in 2012 is null and void.
Consider our contract null and void.
This is so shocking.
In the eyes of the law, Conrad's prenup with you is null and void.
It is null and void. So effectively, Mr. Hendricks never had a valid employment agreement with Hooley.
And your wife's maiden name, Bartlett used those mistakes to render the whole document null and void.
So you...
FBI Trojan Horse of 2009, the null worm.
Well, that was you.
What do you call it? A null hypothesis?
Which gives you a null hypothesis of Stephen Hawking is not Cassius. So go through the photos and try and prove the null. That rolling thunder is not Cassius. And
Flap, 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 flap,
flap.
We would make love, she would always flap her arms up and down. Like she was trying to fly.
Maybe she was trying to escape.
Good. The inside back flap, flap, flap. There is a picture of the author. She can blow a kiss, flap her arms like a bird, flap her arms like a bird, flap her arms like a bird.
Thank you, I'll keep that in mind.
Okay.
You gotta move. Set flap 15 degrees. Flap 15. All right, we are all set. Let's get out of here.
It's a good idea.
You aim straight and make sure he can't use that thing for nothing but a flap to keep the dust out of his butt crack.
Okay, please, just stop.
I told you, you imbecile! Remain in your chambers. Open the flap. Ready the artist.
Malfunction. All of a sudden, Markov went full throttle, flaps down. He ejected just before he dove the plane straight into the ground.
Blue, like a cerulean blue, but with sparkle in it. Yosemite Sam mud flaps.
I broke it.
Nah, it's just a flap. I can fix that.
This flap here, that flap there. See? Neat and simple.
I see.
But I never made it past the 10th flap.
Maddening.
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 Noisy. Maddening, you know, in my head, but right now it's quiet.
I know. I'm aware of that, Callie. That's what's so maddening.
And I'm here in hopes that I can be yours.
It must be maddening not being able to remember what happened that night on the boat.
Which is why you should accept his apology and come back on the team. He's annoying, he's maddening, but he makes us all better.
Remarkable, maddening, challenging, frustrating person I've ever met.
Syndrome.
Yeah, every time I write a bestseller, Patterson writes like 6. It's maddening, but...
Curiosity is a maddening thing, is it not?
But watching them destroy themselves in order to do it, to do what you taught them, it's just maddening. You are maddening.
You know, my brother, he never checks his voicemail either. It's maddening.
Dodge.
Dodge. Dodge. Dodge. Dodge.
Give me a second. You're out of this. You dodged a bullet. You dodged a bullet. You dodged a bullet. Nothing's gonna happen to you or your people.
I had to get out of Dodge. Dodge. That was the quickest way.
I forgot you never served in the military. You had your parents help you dodge the draft. You dodged the draft. You dodged the draft. Just like every other rich blowhard who makes a living off of American xenophobia.
No. Married pervert. No, I'm not. Daisy, I'm not married. He's kidding.
Oh, man. Dodge that bullet, huh?
What the hell are you doing?
Artery. Here, bite on this.
I tried to chop him, but he dodged my tomahawk.
He's got excellent marksmanship. Shot DeLuca in both arms.
I guess we're gonna miss the hullabaloo app.
Sustained.
Guess we can dodge that question for a moment. All right, Doctor.
Wow.
You said that.
Yep. You dodged a bullet when you let that one slip away.
His favorite color is green, and his favorite animal is the Komodo dragon, which can eat up to 80% of its own weight in a single sitting, and he thinks dodgeball is gay. That's how long I've been sitting here.
Look, you're not supposed to feel bad when you dodge a bullet.
Poo.
How'd you dodge that bullet?
Well, maybe Tina, the producer, he picked his more talented than I am at.
You dodged a fucking RPG getting tossed over by this one.
Great. Great.
Great. Great.
Great.
You're scared of sidewalk grates. Sidewalk grates. Sidewalk grates.
No, what?
Yes, the way you're walking, you're avoiding the grates. No. Oh my God, you're so adorable.
This is the mothership. There's got to be some gifts in here for us.
Ventilation grades. Ventilation grades. Ventilation grades. The body could have been dropped through there.
Yeah.
We've got Gatlings at each entry and exit. 6,000 rounds per minute. They're hidden behind grates, grates, grates.
You mean sort of.
We can go into that hole in the guards room. About 40 yards up Route 66, there's a grate, and that'll get us halfway there.
He did. The grate at the Sally Port. Oh, that's right. The one out there in the middle of the open?
We think he was stuffed in a drain pipe till the grate busted in the rain and...
Caught her trying to get out through a grate in the office.
Was Peters with her?
We're not sure. JJ and Alex are searching the perimeter.
All right. So either she ditched the gun in the sewer grate and kept moving, and we checked all of them.
The sound of your voice is really starting to grate on me.
No, wait. Marilyn Monroe, white dress on the subway grate, $20. Deal.
All that time when Tripp tossed me the mag on the Burnside raid and it fell down the sewer grate.
Right.
The challenge now is to figure out which of these injuries occurred before death, which caused death, and which were caused after the body fell through a rusty grate into a giant spinning propeller.